DNVR Rapids. You like that one? You like that one? Live from downtown Denver on the corner of Colfax and York, right above the DNVR bar. From the Toyota Lounge, we are driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. Toyota, live vicariously. No, that's not. That Toyota, well. I'm joking. I'm joshing you.
Isn't it live well?
Yeah, live well, live well. I'm loving it. Pids up, I believe. No, but we can't get too much silliness because we've got a great guest here waiting for him to be introed. I, as always, am joined by the great downtown Dwayne Brown, Yahir Vasquez, also known as super producer Yaya, and we've got the legend Dion Smith behind the ones and twos. But before we get into it all, PAX Show, it's a great time to be alive. It's a fun time to follow the MLS. We have MLS legend. Streets are saying the man who started the rise of Red Bull as a sporting enterprise. And also one of the hosts of maybe our favorite MLS studio show. I'd say so. Unrivaled. MLS 360. It's Dax McCarty. I'm also scarred for life to say any of your guys' names after Sasha gave me a hard time on how I pronounced his name. So hopefully, Dax, you give me a pass. I was saying McCartney or McCarthy, off stage, but I think we got it right. So nice to have you here.
Yeah, you're all good, man. How we doing, fellas? Looks like a nice little setup we got there. Better than my setup.
Toyota treats us well. We'll say that. Yeah, Toyota does very well for us.
We've got a nice little setup. The bar will be ready to go here in a few hours. How are you doing? You're out on the road, Campeones? Little LA Galaxy action coming?
Yeah, we got a big studio show tonight for Campeones Cup. Obviously, very important game for the LA Galaxy, playing against Toluca. Should be a good game, even though the Galaxy haven't been great this year. But yeah, man, I'm in the hotel, Stamford, Connecticut. Great little city. I've enjoyed my time traveling back and forth. But let's talk some Rocky Mountain Cup. Who cares about the Galaxy right now?
Dude, what a derby. This one means everything because 6 through 10 seeds in the West are right there.
5 points apart at most.
Both RSL and the PIDs right there. And this game Saturday is going to mean a lot. Feels to us like the Rapids win and take care of business. They're probably at least locked in for the 9 seed. I don't know. The Quakes are always there and could mess some things up. While if RSL pulls off the upset, dare I say, or just the win, they become dangerously in that picture for the 8-9 game. It's a wide open West right now. I think we're going to get some real fireworks these last couple regular season games. But what I think doesn't matter, Dax, how do you see this all unfolding?
Yeah, you covered a lot there. The Eastern Conference playoff race is completely buttoned up. The only thing left in the East is just jockeying for playoff position amongst the 9 teams that have qualified. That Western Conference playoff race, we talked about it a little bit off air. It's one of the best playoff races in recent memory in terms of just competitive. It's going to come down to decision day. But as far as it relates to the Rapids and Real Salt Lake and the Rocky Mountain Cup, you could argue this is the most important Rocky Mountain Cup in years, just based on essentially what it means. Looking over the table, the Rapids 3 points ahead of Salt Lake. They have the exact same number of wins and the exact same goal differential. So when it comes down to tiebreakers and when it comes down to this last game and the importance of picking up any points possible, you can't really oversell how big of a game this is, because if Salt Lake wins, they jump ahead. They equal Colorado on points, and they jump ahead of them on the tiebreaker, which would be wins on the season. And so, listen, this is a massive moment in this derby. This is a massive moment in this the history of this game. And it's a really big moment for Chris Armas and Chris Armas's men, because, I don't have to sit there and tell you guys that it's been a very frustrating season for the Colorado Rapids, very inconsistent, very up and down. I would say this is the biggest game in Colorado Rapids season so far.
Dax, when you're looking at the Rapids, especially with this matchup with Real Salt Lake, what are the things that Rapids fans can be most hopeful about and worry about the most as far as this matchup goes?
Well, I think both teams are kind of suffering from the same issues. To be honest, both teams are not great defensively. It's been a real struggle for both teams to not concede goals. I mean, it feels like the Colorado Rapids haven't had a clean sheet in months. And I think the numbers back that up as well. And it's the same with Real Salt Lake. They've just struggled to find that defensive consistency. And so both sets of attacking players should be licking their lips at this matchup. I would say that, Maxo and Rob Holding, they're a partnership that I think is still a work in progress. Physically, I really like the profile of both of those guys. They're pretty dominant in the air. Both of them are pretty calm on the ball, but they really struggle with pace in behind them, with speedy attackers. And with Salt Lake, they just brought in two new strikers, Huron Cruz and Victor Olatunji, who are an absolute handful. Yeah. You have Diego Luna as an attacking midfielder who's always going to be dangerous and creative, and now he's starting to link up a lot better with those new pieces. So it's going to be a really difficult test for that back line of the Rapids, especially considering a big problem that I've seen all season long with the Rapids is a lack of a true ball-winning central midfielder. I really like Ali Laraz. I really do like Connor Ronan. I think both of them are really good pieces. I see both of them as more number 8s who are comfortable in possession. They can get forward. They can link up play. I just don't see a real ball winner amongst that group of players in midfield. It's not it's not what Cole Bassett's strength is. I see the Rapids roster is almost incomplete at this point in time. And if you're missing that workhorse number 6, that ball winner in the middle of the field, it's always going to put more pressure on your back line. And I think that's part of the reason why the Rapids have conceded so many goals. So that battle in midfield, how Ali Laraz and Connor Ronan try to deal with Diego Luna and him providing service to those strikers, it's going to be a really important piece to this game.
Kind of taking a step back, let's say the Rapids don't make the playoffs. What do you think are the repercussions for this team if they don't make the playoffs? Coaching, front office, even players on the roster?
Yeah, I think that it's all on the table. It's a great question, because this isn't the MLS of yesteryear. This isn't the MLS of even 5 years ago, where coaches have these really long leashes to be able to try to build something in 3 or 4 years. People want to see tangible progress. People want to see results right away. I mean, we've seen a number of coaches lose their jobs already in Major League Soccer this year. The turnover, it happens every season now. And so I think Chris Armas is a good coach. I only had him as an assistant coach with the New York Red Bulls, never as a head coach. But the way he sees the game, I know he sees the game in the right way. I would think that there would be more repercussions on the player personnel side that you've already kind of started to see turnover. I think they're going to try to revamp that back line a little bit, which needs some help. They need some help in midfield. I really like the addition of Paxton Aronson to go along with Rafa Navajo. He's going to be a really dangerous, dynamic piece. And so I would think, at least the way that I look at the Rapids, is that you have a good coach in Chris Armas. I do think Porig Smith is able to add good pieces. I think there's been a few things he just hasn't been able to get over the line. And so if they were to miss the playoffs, it would be a big disappointment, because we've come to expect the Rapids in the playoffs. But it would probably just mean, I think, a little bit more player personnel decisions and probably trying to strengthen that roster, because I really do like some of the foundational pieces that the Rapids have. It just hasn't all clicked this year.
Yeah, no doubt. Lots to unpack there. Great note. I mean, July 12th is the last time the Rapids had a clean sheet.
Yep.
Yeah, it's too long. It's crazy,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, no, that's
I
insane.
was 28 last time that happened.
That's exactly. I mean, it was a different squad, right? Like Georgie was on the team, Holding wasn't here. We hadn't become the official Rafael Santos, fan club. Like we lived in a different world. We hadn't ruined the future of the USMNT by signing Paxton Aronson. Everything was on the table back then, and. But from Dax to Pax, how have you seen Aronson's integration early on? And from a personnel standpoint, we're always talking. We still need like a DP winger, but maybe that ball winning six is more what's in need right now.
That was, first of all, great TV. Really nice transition.
Thank you.
Might use that one. First of all, I think it's a great signing. Georgi Mihailovic is a really hard guy to replace, especially in terms of his production in Major League Soccer. He's in the prime of his career. He's playing really well. He was pretty much a lock for double-digit goals and double-digit assists every year. So, look, those are some big shoes to fill with Paxton Aronson, but I love the signing because I think it shows a real ambition to go out and build a young core, which is what I associate Chris Armas teams with, a young, energetic, full of life, full of endeavor type of core. But Paxton Aronson, he's so much more than that. I really love what I've seen from him in terms of the pockets that he finds, his technical ability. He's a really high-level technical player. He can play in any position amongst the front three, right? So he's not an out-and-out striker, but he can play off the striker. He can play as a 10, and he can play either wing. I love the versatility that he provides. And he's already, I think, provided some Rapids fans with some great moments, maybe, some flashes of things to come as he finds his footing and gets more consistent. But the truth is, guys, is that you spend that type of money for a designated player. I don't care how old they are, they have to produce. So my one slight worry with Paxton Aronson is that he's going to be a great soccer player. He's going to provide some really brilliant moments for the club. But then it's just, can he do that consistently to where it's adding up to goals and assists? Because you only have so many DP spots and you've only got so many starting 11 positions to go around to dynamic attackers. Those dynamic attackers have to produce. So I do think he will end up producing. If it's not this year, then certainly in the next 4 or 5 years, however long you have him under contract. But I love the foundation. I love the building block for Chris Armas and what he's able to provide. I have really high hopes for Paxton Aronson. I think it's a really shrewd move from the Rapids.
Love that. We're not going to take up too much more of your time. Can I get your predictions for who makes the 8-9 seed and who comes out of the West here in these playoffs?
Oh man, that's a tough one. That's why I guess they pay me the bucks to go ahead.
That's exactly right.
Although I will say, guys, I have San Diego finishing last in the West, so I don't know if I'm a great authority on this, as I'm sure a lot of people did.
You and all of us.
I do think Colorado is going to end up making the playoffs. I think that the Rocky Mountain Cup is an exciting game, but I think it ends in a draw, which will obviously be more advantageous to the Rapids. And I think San Jose is going to hold on to that last and final playoff spot. Houston have struggled to close out games recently. I don't see them being able to squeeze into that spot. FC Dallas is dangerous, and they are playing very well right now. And so you're going to have to hope that the LA Galaxy don't expend too much energy tonight and can take some points off Dallas. And then with San Jose, I do feel like San Jose and Bruce Arena, he's got that institutional know-how and the attacking chops with Christian Espinoza, Joseph Martinez, and Chicho Rongo to be able to squeeze into the playoffs. And so I don't see too much changing as of now, but the Colorado Rapids have to get something out of the Rocky Mountain Cup. If they lose that game to Salt Lake, I think that spells really big trouble for them on the last day of the season on decision day. But it should be exciting, man. That's the one thing with MLS. You always get excitement. You always get chaos. It's not always great if you're a fan of a certain team fighting for a playoff spot, but it's great if you're a fan of the league like I am, and you just want to see chaos at the end of the season.
No doubt. The parody has been outstanding. Your guys' coverage on Apple TV has been outstanding. Thank you so much for taking the time, Dax. Catch him everywhere, of course. A legend. And thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks for having me, guys. Have a great show.
Thanks, Dax.
Appreciate you. Up the damn PIDs with Dax. That was great. Got the chat popping, the old Toyota chat. We're going to take a quick break and unpack all of that and start talking what's happened since you guys saw us last. And get into this Rocky Mount Cup, which is one for the ages. But first, a shout out to our dear friends at Toyota, studio presenting sponsor, proud partner of the Colorado Rapids, and just an all-time great car for you. What I say is the perfect Colorado car. They have so many four-wheel, all-wheel drive options, SUVs, trucks. It's what Toyota does, and they are the perfect family car. Perfect car to just go west. Like let's play hooky from work and just take our Toyota out into the mountains. Call in on your work Zoom and do the old robot voice like Dax just did. Sorry, I must be in a bad spot. Don't know.
Grab the chips and just
exactly. And they've also been just incredible to work with. Toyota's all about what we do, and we are all about what Toyota does. If you are in the market for a new vehicle, I would urge you to visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mount States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota, proud partner of the Colorado Rapids and the official vehicle of DNVR. Toyota, let's go places. That's right. That's their motto. And speaking of official partners of the Colorado Rapids, how about Dick's Sporting Goods, baby?
Woo-woo!
Just launched the Dick's partnership. The old Richard has a little part of us in it now, They've been carrying our merch for a little while now. They just re-upped, so in Dick's all over the metro area, you should be able to find our stuff. What more can you say about Dick's Sporting Goods? They've got you set. You need new apparel. The kids need new stuff for school, a little sporting gear. You're starting to believe in the Broncos again. You're like, oh man, now's the time to buy some Buffs gear because maybe you're buying low, It was hard to find Buffs gear a couple years ago. Dick's has you covered. All the major brands, they've got you set, baby.
The holidays are here, almost here. What do you want to do? You want to buy sweatpants for Thanksgiving so you can fit it, so you can eat all you want. You also want to start buying gifts for everybody. Great deals all over the place.
Damn straight.
And if you're ready to get into shape the next year, might as well go buy all the clothes you need to work out at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. It's your Gap stop for everything. You don't got to go anywhere else. Just Dick's.
Exactly. The only place you can find anywhere from Nike to original Adidas to DNVR merch. All in one spot. Bang, bang.
The three major sports brands in America.
Come on now. Get your gear fast with free curbside pickup at your nearest store or easy shipping from Dicks.com because every season starts at Dick's.
The D in Dick stands for DNVR now. Sure, and that's the way I look at it.
It sure does. It also stands for diehards. That's right. Diehards. You want to support what we do, 5 hours of programming on all our teams every single day, the merch, the journalism, the written side, you name it. You can become a diehard today with an amazing offer. Just go to thednvr.com and get our limited sale right now. We just dropped some hats with branded bills, which are beautiful. You can get a free shirt if you're a new time sign up, like this banger. Streets are saying best flag shirt we've released yet.
Oh, not even close.
Our Denver Summit FC shirt.
I think it's the only unique one.
Streets know a little something.
Yeah.
Streets do be knowing
Don't
things.
be fooled by
No.
the Colfax clientele. They know things. They know things.
Shout out to the Colfax clientele, by the way. Yeah, so there you go. That's all the plugs for today, guys. That's it.
Maybe.
Dax, those two reads, diehards, just PIDs talk straight into your veins for the next
40 minutes.
38. We're gonna
38,
say
yeah.
38 minutes.
38.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
It was very exact.
So yeah, guys. What you been up to the last 2 weeks since we last spotted, huh?
Pain and suffering.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. That FC Dallas game. Oof.
Not great, bub.
FC Dallas, their last 10 games, 9 useful results. Undefeated through the last 2 months, August and September. And as Dax was pointing out, 2 of the issues for the PIDs, that backline handling speed. Boy, that FC Dallas exposed that. And the lack of, there's good guys in midfield. Notice that Dax shouted out the 2 redheads. Red's heads stick together. I respect
There's
that.
very few of them. They kind of have to.
100%. We're a pro Ollie and Ronan pod.
100%.
Midfield got bossed like crazy in that one. And it's nuts that for a second Yappy has that offside goal and it could have been 2-2 because that's a game that if FC Dallas won that 5-1, I would be like, yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
That's probably legit.
They actually outperformed the score sheet. They should have been that score sheet should have been way worse than it actually ended up being.
And it kind of a tone setter for these last 2 games because FC Dallas, though they are behind the PIDs in the standings, are terrifying. Just 2 points behind with a game in hand. 2 of those games against the Galaxy, who are probably more focused on Campeones. So yeah, FC Dallas is scary, and you are our resident FC Dallas hater downtown,
true.
Dwayne Brown.
I do hate them.
And yeah, I mean, up your hate right now because it's that was quite the showing and really poured some cool water on any PIDs optimism we might have had coming out of that last show.
Yeah, I hate losing to FC Dallas. It's right up there with
Facts.
RSL for me. I know people have RSL at the top. For me, they're very, very close.
Yeah, you just have
I
a
can't stand
special
that team.
despise for them, which I respect the hell
it
out
goes
of.
back to Dylan Cerna and one of the most cheap tackles I've ever seen in my life that ended his season. I will never forgive them. I still haven't.
Good for you.
And I never will. So
I respect the hell out of that.
yeah, I hope that they blow it. I do think they have a good chance to win this game coming up because Galaxy has other priorities right now.
Yeah.
But I think that priority is over. And so that second game versus Galaxy, I think that's where Galaxy is like, look, our season is done. Let's just screw with people because they are getting it together finally. Galaxy looks a lot better than they did even 5-6 weeks ago. Like they are like a legitimate threat again.
Agreed.
It's too late for them, but it's not too late to F up somebody else's playoff chances. And who doesn't want that? You know, like if we were on the outside looking in, all you want to do is play spoiler. I think Galaxy does that for game 2 versus FC Dallas, which would certainly be a help for the Rapids hanging on to their spot.
Yeah, let's hope. Yeah, is that your biggest concern here, the next 2 games, or you're just locked in on RSL? The other game we need to recap is that Minnesota game. They just dominated from start to finish and yet are only able to come away with 1 point.
I think looking at this team, like there's so many more problems with it that I don't think are going to be able to be fixed in the next 2 games. If I'm honest, they have LA Galaxy, they have LA FC in LA. They never, or here in Denver, but they never went against LAFC. Like they struggle so hard. That team is churning out results right now. Like
LAFC's on fire.
That's a team that game to me is a loss. When we talked about this a couple weeks ago, we said they need 4 points to get to the playoffs. They've already screwed up 2 of their chances to get one of those 3 points. They come away with 1. They need this win against RSL, but RSL's also starting to hum.
Yeah.
They're starting to get it together. While the Rapids, they're going in different trajectories. When the Rapids are going down, RSL's going up. They're going to meet at a cross point, and this is the one point where the Rapids really need to buckle down and see what they're going to do. I don't like the attitude that's going on around in the field when I watch the games, if I'm being honest. It feels kind of lazy at times. I feel like they try really hard, but when they don't get what they want immediately, they kind of let they droop their shoulders, put their heads down, and then kind of give a half-ass effort. And then they kind of like realize they're still in the middle of a game and then go back at it. I really like the way that Paxton plays. He plays with a lot of energy, 100% at all times.
Pax, I think, is one of the guys you can't say that. He is trying to take it to him. He is trying to attack.
And Rafa's like that too, but lately Rafa, you can just tell he's getting frustrated that he's not getting anything.
Lately, he's not been.
No,
Saturday he was not.
No, and
I thought he was injured at one point, but turns out he was just.
And it's such a hard thing to see because that guy was also a workhorse for so long for the Rapids. But you can start telling that the frustration's getting to some of these guys because they're playing unorganized ball. They're not. There's no structure to what they do. They're just kind of sending the ball. And it frustrates me when I see a guy like Calvin Harris be mad that Paxton Harrison's willing to take the shot and not pass it to him when all Calvin does is sometimes dribble, then just throw it into the corner. And it's like, I'd rather take the shot than have you have the ball if I'm being honest. Like it's a worse shot, but it's better from Paxton than if you had it. And I like Calvin a lot. And I think there needs to be some hierarchy in this team and understanding who are the leaders for this team to kind of continue forward and push because I think they have the talent. They don't have the mentality right now.
I think that's a pretty fair assessment. Also, Calvin's got to bag one of those 2 great header chances he had against Minnesota.
And that's what I mean. You miss already 2 in obvious goals, and then you're still complaining at Paxton, one of the guys that should be the leaders, that he didn't pass you the ball when he had a more clear shot.
That's been the story for the Rapids in the final third almost the entire season. And I
think Georgie was covering up some of those mistakes, right? From set pieces and what have you. And they're kind of missing that guy who pulls the strings.
Part of it, because we've seen the frustration from everybody who doesn't get the ball passed to him. So part of me personally was like, stop with trying to make these passes because the passes are rarely clean. And they don't set up the shooter for a clean shot because the passes aren't good. So my thought is just take the shot. I don't give a crap. Like, just take the shot. But what we saw on Sunday was shot after shot after shot after shot going straight into Dane St. Clair's arms. I don't know if that's a sneaky play by Target as the official sponsor to put that logo in the middle of the kit.
No free ads, man. Whoa.
It's not a good ad. It's a bad thing. It's a devious thing by
Dwayne's
Target.
coming from a design perspective, okay.
But having that target on that kit, I feel like every ball went straight into Dane St. Clair's hands. And so now I don't know where I stand because I'm just like, oh my God, F it. Stop with these stupid passes and just take the shot. Because what we have seen over the past, month or two is a lot of passes that end up being sent all the way back to Stefan at some point. It breaks down, then it gets pushed back through the midfield, and then they have to reset and start all over with no shot being taken. But now we see shots on Saturday, and all of them are straight at the keeper. So I don't know what the solve is here. After the game at the presser, we were talking to Rob Holding. He mentions a lot about the cleanliness of those passes inside the box and making sure that those passes were not just kicking the ball into the box, but actually being spot on with the passes, which again opens up the shooter to have a nice shot. But a lot of times we just see these passes being sent in. Then you see Rafa Navajo come flying in upside down with his leg sticking out, hoping that it bounces off of his foot. He flies into the net, but the ball doesn't. And that's what we see a lot in the final third.
And that's something that Georgie did have. He had pinpoint passes.
Yeah.
And that's what this team is missing. When the Rapids were good in 21, they had Jack Price. Exact same thing. Dude could put the ball wherever he wanted.
Yep.
And as much as I love Paxton, that's just not his game. He's a grinder. He's gonna set you up if he has a nice clean lane, and he's gonna run. But like, he is not a creator, and they're missing that. And Ronan's too far back trying to recover. He has a little bit of that, and he can't even push up because he's too worried about defensively, because that back line is Swiss cheese. It's just going in one way or another.
I think Josh Atencio could have some of that too, but that's not at all how he's being used. You know, he's just the workhorse. He's not being asked to be nice with it. That Minnesota game, what's so frustrating is they have one chance. It's an insane shot from outside the box. And it's like one of the few times that the entire midfield just crashed down. Ronan and I think Cole are already on the defensive line. It's like a 6-man line. Pax comes in, steals the ball, and kicks it out, and it just lands to Trapp, who scores like a worldie. It's their only chance. They've 180 minutes against Minnesota. They have dominated. If I was a Minnesota fan, I would be terrified of the potential of a Pids matchup in round 1. But sadly, I don't think that's in play anymore, fellas. So yeah, it's you're right. There's a lack of clarity. There's a lack of clinicalness in the final third. And I mean, yeah, this welcome to being a Rapids fan. You know, like this isn't anything new, sadly.
But even that, not even just in the final third, even in the build of play.
You're right.
There's like no organization. They don't know where to go with the ball. And then they just end up going back and forth. And then there's like, oh, that guy ran, and they just launch it to the wing. And it's like, cool. Now you have a winger that's 2 against 1. Yeah. And it's like, nobody's in the box yet because you just launched it. Rafa's running, and then the pass goes overhead, and it's a goalie kick, and it's just like, cool.
Well, the best creator against Minnesota is your left back. Santos played out of his mind.
Best creator for 3 games now.
Should have had 2 assists, you know. I mean, and Calvin kind of squanders them. Has the goal. The one shot that doesn't go to St. Clair, you know, kind of surprised them there, as he's expecting Cole to go near post. Instead, it's the lefty free kick that goes far post. I think that's emblematic of how little you're able to create with the front guys, the midfield guys. If you're left back, your newest addition is the guy who's doing the most for you right now.
Yeah, it's very disheartening because this team, I think it's really talented. Like, I think Rafa is a top 15 striker in the league. I think Paxton's a top 12, 10 in the league. I really do like Zach Steffen's probably the best goalkeeper in the league when given a chance to actually goalkeep and not just watch the ball run by him because he has no help.
Defensively, they've been better. We were talking about off air.
Defensively, they were very good on Saturday. And that goal that was scored was not on the back line me. That was what Dax was talking about earlier, is that missing piece of a strong 6 to lock down the top of the box. And when you go back and look at that play, the back line was locking it down all game, but you had that ball right there at the top of the box, and there was no one there to close it off. And it just became like a free shot. I mean, it was really like a free kick.
Yeah,
you know,
and you have too many Cole Bassett's on this team. Ronan, Ollie, Atencio, and Cole all do the exact same thing. You need to get rid of some of those and bring some variety to that midfield, or you're just gonna end up doing this again next year and the year after until you actually find a guy that can create from the back. And they're all box to box midfielders with a little bit of pizzazz, but nothing special that can take it to the next level. They're all hard workers. They all do a lot of the things. They're all very similar. There's no variety in that midfield.
It's not a bad thing about their play.
No, it's just
you want a hardworking box to box midfielder, but
you need to pair him with a deep line 6 that can distribute and pass the ball where he needs to, with a Paxton that can run. And you don't have that right now. And I thought Ronan could be that, but Ronan's not defensively strong enough with this bad of a back line. And it's like, you need somebody that, maybe it's Josh that has that, be more of that, but they don't deploy him that way.
That's not at all how they're playing.
Yeah, they deploy him more as a box to box, and it's like, no, keep him back there. Have him be your 3rd center back, basically, when everybody's attacking, and have him distribute from the back. He has a little bit of that, and they don't. They rather have him be a box to box, and he's getting lost in the shuffle again.
100%. And to some extent, Paxton's a little like that too, right? As a 10, he's a box to box. He runs hard. He's going to insert himself. He's going to roam and stuff. Well, if you don't have a guy, all these guys trying to run and find spaces and without someone serving them, then yeah, we're going to be in trouble.
And no identity, as we always talk about. This team, if you don't know what you're doing, you are just kind of being taken by the air wherever you want to go.
100%. And there was a great comment in the Toyota chat that I was seeing earlier about how everything's on the line. Here we are. Crash. The Crash says so many things for this RMC, the Cup, playoffs, and likely Armas's job, which has been kind of a theme throughout this post-Georgie Paxton move. Has been, what about this extension for Armas that he has brought up a few times? And yeah, what does this final stretch mean? Because everything we've just criticized about recent play, I think is legit. And I think also comes back down to the coach, right?
Yep.
Almost 2 full regular seasons into the Armas experience, saying this team doesn't really have an identity, I do think is a bit of an indictment on the head coach.
It has to be. Like, what else do you look at?
I would start the conversation there. So how do you guys feel? Do you think this really comes down to, do they make the 9 seed? Is that even a fair assessment for the coach? Because, I mean, come on, man. The 9's, like, that's just to sell more tickets and have a little more TV ratings, man. That's not legit. Like, you got smoked in the first round last year as the 8th seed. You really think making the 9 seed is going to, I mean, is that really like some big badge of honor that, we made, like, over half the teams in the league are going to make the playoffs. You make it in a 1-game play-in as the 9 seed, you're going to be the underdog. You might be playing on the road. Like,
I almost wonder if
is that what should save his job?
I almost wonder if this RSL game is going to save his job more than if they make the playoffs. If they win the Rocky Mountain Cup back-to-back years, does that bring a little bit of excitement to the front office and the fans, where they're kind of like, well, at least he won back-to-back Rocky Mountain Cup, something that we haven't done ever, I think, or in such a long time. So I do wonder if this game is more important than the actual playoff picture. The playoff picture, because they're not going to go anywhere in the playoffs. They're just going to get knocked out either in that play-in or in the first round, regardless. But it does give a little bit of that, ooh, we got at least a cup this year. Is that worth keeping them around?
Yeah, and I mean, how much does the results in Leagues Cup last year also factor into his job eval?
I'm sure it all has to, right? What do you think, Dwayne? I know you love Armas, and I'm not trying to have you talk bad on Armas. Like, I think Armas is a good coach, but
yeah, no, I mean, I love Chris Armas. I think he's a good human being. I think he's a good coach. It's I think we're at the point where the Rapids will have to crash out, like lose out these last 3 games for the front office to have an excuse to not extend Armas. We've heard from Porg, was a month ago or whatever, that they were hoping, trying to make it work out. Someone asked the question after the game in the presser, asked Chris, how are things going with negotiations? I mean, his direct words were, the club wants me here and I want to be here. That whole conversation was not like,
which is more positive than the last few snippets we've got.
Very different from. It was a 180 from the last time.
Yeah,
it sounded very positive. He said, we're close. The club wants me here. I want to be here. So it's just, to me, all signs point to Chris Armas being the coach, and I really think that
streets are honking in support of Chris Armas. So that's big, man. Yeah. That's big.
We do have somebody out there with a honk for Armas side, and we're getting a couple of people to interact.
I think the negotiations are going down to length of contract at this point. And I think that's where all those things are coming into play. Is it a Rocky Mountain Cup win? Is it getting to back-to-back playoff appearances? Is it Leagues Cup? What is it that makes this a 2-year extension versus something longer? As a coach, obviously you want longevity in your contract. You don't want to just be here for a year or two. As a front office, you've had a long time as the GM. You can't screw this up, especially with all eyes on soccer next year with World Cup coming.
Streets are saying. It's been a yucky second half, man. Yucky second half. And yes, I know they're in the playoff picture firmly, control their own destiny. Credit to them. I just can't get past that negative 11 goal differential. Some of this is fluky, man. That goal differential really tells you a lot about how good this team actually is. And when you look at goal differential, they're much closer to a 12th or 13th seed than they are a playoff squad.
And that's back-to-back years now. Yep. That's back-to-back years where the exact same trend happens, where they're negative goal differential, where the second half of the season starts looking very bleak, where they're kind of like barely sliding into the playoffs, or they're sliding down the table. And that's something that you have to take into account. And I've asked this before. Is it because the front office is all the ownership is also not committed to the front office? They're not committing to Armas? Like, is there something going on more? I don't think that's true. But, like, it is kind of weird that you're 2 games away from the season ending in a playoff race, and there's no commitment either way. Like, there's nothing being said except for the coach saying we're close, and nothing coming out from the front office. But I'll start wondering, is the front office like in a safe place too? Are they gonna have to start making moves inside that organization to kind of get some of this fixed? Because it's their 10th year in charge, 4th head coach, I think, or 5th head coach.
Yeah.
And 4 playoff appearances, I think, is what I put out last time. 6, and they only won 2 Rocky Mountain Cups in the last 10 years. Like, that's also not very acceptable. You could be making record signings and record sales, but if the results aren't there and you're barely making the playoffs, not even 50% of the time, what's the point of playing Moneyball if you're not even actually winning?
A pressing style with a negative 11 goal differential is not adding up.
It's not the best. And I just come back to what was the front office's message? What is their vision this offseason? Younger and more talented. You added Paxton, so you got younger that way. I've enjoyed the Yappy breakout. I thought Santos was an astute pickup and is proving. Young guys haven't really raised the ceiling on this squad, man.
KDP should have been that guy, and he has it. Omir was finally breaking out after having a down year, and
bye.
Good luck in Portland, baby.
Yeah, Murph Dog loved what we saw early in the season. Nowhere to be seen. That's Ian Murphy for those who aren't in on the nicknames.
There's also like no consistency in the lineups. How could any of these guys get any rhythm if there's no consistency?
Right.
Like, it's the same thing that they talk about the Broncos, the running back snaps, the Sean Payton. You got to keep them in for a few drives to kind of get them going.
Yeah, develop the young guys. Yes.
Same thing with these guys. Like, every sport, you require development. You require minutes and reps to get good at what you're doing. And if you're not getting your reps, you're never going to actually amount to anything. Like, at what point are you just too rusty to be out there? And as much as we like Rob Holding, friend of the pod, he hadn't really played a lot of games before coming here. Then you thrust him into a playoff race, and you're like, go at it, brother. On a brand new league, brand new team and everything. And it's a struggle bus because it's like, how else are you supposed to do this?
100%. And I think in a lot of ways, the vision for the front office was younger, more talented. Let's put Sam Bassett's the guy where has Sam been? Where has Alex Harris? You know, we're building through the draft. We're building through R2.
You keep buying.
Where are these guys?
You're going to go buy these Australian like wonder kids and like Jameson and things. But you have all these draft picks that you're not even willing to give them a shot.
Yep.
So then now we loved him coming out of the draft as center back. Where the hell is he?
Yep.
Alex, if you wanted to go younger, why do you go get Paxton and invest that money in a winger and let Sam cook and see if he has what it's good to actually be a 10 in this league? You already invested a high draft pick, and he was your big signing of the offseason, apparently. Go with that young guy and invest it somewhere else. You need a winger anyways. You need a D playing 6. Why don't you invest there instead?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I think the overall vision of the front office also deserves to be scrutinized.
Yeah, sure.
You know, so how do we see this panning out, boys? playoff picture, what's it gonna look like in the end? I think FC Dallas in that 10 seed has the easiest path. I think catching up to Austin or Portland, who are still just 4 points away, that ship has probably sailed, especially since one of your 2 games is against a hot LAFC. The Quakes are really interesting. Because they have Vancouver coming up, who is still playing for a playoff seeding, but has cooled off a little bit from the super hot start they had. And then they have Austin FC.
First, though.
What was that?
They're tied for first. So they have everything to play for sure.
No, Vancouver's very much in it. And then you play Austin FC, who, in that 5-6 mix, they don't want to fall too far either. So I think Austin's going to have a lot to show. San Jose might just be better than Austin, though.
I think so. I think San Jose has a better coach. I think in the MLS, I feel like that's one of the few leagues in the world where it actually matters a little bit more than the players you have on there because of the parity. Like if you have a coach that knows what the other team is doing, you could actually scheme up some things. It almost feels like basketball. Like if you have a coach that can just cause some chaos in the right moment, it really helps out. I don't think the Rapids make the playoffs. I actually think they lose against RSL this week. And that's not me being dreadful. I thought they were going to win against Dallas and against Minnesota. Even though my prediction said otherwise, but I really did think they were like, okay, like they're going to kind of, I think this team might be a little broken. I think they might not have that extra gear in them to kind of get to the next level.
Well, if that late goal doesn't happen in Houston or against Houston at home, where are they now?
They're out of the playoffs.
Yeah. Dwayner, is that how you see this panning out?
It all comes down to Saturday.
It might as well be a play-in game.
Saturday is the playoff game.
Yep.
It's 100%
and means
a
more
playoff.
than a playoff game in some ways.
I think you win and you're in on Saturday, even though there's 3 games left. But I think too many other things have to happen that are out of their control with other teams that just won't happen to knock them out. So I think you get these 3 points at Salt Lake. You're going to have that at minimum the 9 spot, possibly the 8. I think you lose. Then you come down to decision day where RSL is playing a not very good St. Louis for last game to get in. Nothing would make RSL happier than to punt the Rapids out of the playoffs by beating St. Louis, which should be a beatable match for them. And again, the tiebreaker at that point would go to RSL. So Saturday is the playoffs. However you want to look at it. If you're a Rocky Mountain Cup person, then it's the Rocky Mountain Cup for you. If the playoffs are where you're at, then this is the playoffs for you. The result of Saturday will be the result of whether or not the Rapids get into the playoffs.
It's almost like RSL has a game in hand. Rapids have 2 games left.
Mm-hmm.
If the Rapids and RSL tie, I think the only thing the Rapids can do is win. If they tie, I think the Rapids are out, basically. Because at that point, all San Jose has to do is win or even tie, and they're kind of going to jump the Rapids. And RSL with a game in hand, they control their destiny completely with way worse teams on their schedule.
We said they need 4 points. That math has not changed. You've gotten 1. The 3 points have to come from RSL. I have zero confidence they can come against LAFC. And again, even if you tied both, that's 3 points. We said we didn't stutter when we spoke. We said 4 points, and we mean it, damn it. You come into decision day with just 41 points. I think San Jose surpasses you, who are just 2 points behind. Dallas for sure surpasses you, and RSL would stay alive and also be in the mix.
I think they would actually jump. I think the Rapids would end up like in 12th place at the end of the day.
Yeah, which again for goal differential would straighten out to right where maybe they belong. I think they squeak in. I think Dallas overtakes them with a game in hand for the A seed, And they stick to the 9 seed, though San Jose does scare me a lot. And then I'm terrified that Dallas boat races them in that 8-9 game.
Yeah. Just it feels like the Rapids are in a very.
It's a really tough spot.
It's a spot where you kind of want to be at the end of the year, kind of.
Yeah.
If you're a bad team,
There's
it's
a
like
reason to watch.
yeah,
you
like
know?
if
Yeah,
you're a bad team,
for
you're
sure,
like I
for
control my
sure.
destiny, I can do this. But it's also like, is it worth it? Like can you do this? Like you're so bad. You're facing LAFC is so good. Like it has to come against RSL, and RSL has been the Rapids boogeyman for decades. Like not just LAFC, like they struggle against RSL too. Their rival, the Derby, they don't always show out, even though they should, and it's so scary about that.
Yeah. I mean, what do we want to see in this game?
I want to see a Yappy
Massive
goal.
RMC.
I want to see a Yappy goal, win or lose. I want Yappy to start getting back into the score sheet because I think Rafa's gone at the end of the year. And I want Yappy to take over that role. I think he's earned the chance to play after starting 9. And I want to see him get going the last 2 games.
I mean, Derby Day, having your homegrown guys step up. Ollie plays out of his mind. Yappy plays out of his mind. I would love to see that.
It just feels a little bit more special.
100%. What do you think, Dwayner?
I
I mean, both what you want to see and what your prediction is.
think that's the same. I think a Rapids win because nobody thinks that they're gonna win.
Yeah.
Which is when the Rapids play their best ball. No one is picking the Rapids to win. I don't think they do struggle at RSL, though they've won there. I think last year, recently, didn't they? I could be wrong on that. But I do think that they get the win. I think it's going to be a close game, like a 2-1 sort of thing. I think we see the Hoffa to Hoffa connection finally, which is what I've been watching every for.
The Hoffas?
Yeah, I think the Hoffa is about to happen.
That would be incredible.
And I think Cole scores a goal just simply out of anger, just at the season and just being a true, like, growing up as a Rapids fan, the hatred for RSL. I think that anger is enough to get a Cole goal.
That's the big homegrown too. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
and I think Cole's played better. Right, we had some early season
Yeah, he's been
concerns
better.
with Cole. I think post Georgie, Cole's been unlocked a bit.
either of these teams is a any given match day team.
Yeah,
Both of these teams have put beatings on teams that are better than them, and both of these teams have completely pooped the bed versus teams that were not very good. So anything could happen on Saturday, and when that happens, and when no one is in the Rapids corner, that's when I think the Rapids do their best work.
I mean, no doubt we've ridden this roller coaster all season long, where like there's a 2-week stretch and we come back and pod and we're like, we're so back. And then 2 weeks later, we're like, oh my God, the season is over. Burn it to the ground. So hopefully, the counter is that. And they surprise us with 6 points and big Derby win and then upset RSL and maybe even sneak into that 7 seed. I just want them to play all out, take it to them, make it a bit of a yucky, nasty game, let Holding and Maxu bully some guys.
Let Maxu suplex someone.
100%. And just like stick together for 90 minutes, compact. And let's see where the magic can come from the final third, because I'm not sure.
I want 3 red cards this game.
What do you think, Dre?
That would be epic.
So
3 red cards, 0-1 loss.
he's got a loss. I've got a win. Is it the usual, the patented Dre draw?
It's
The DD.
they are plus 350 underdogs in this game. RSL minus 143 on Bet365. So that tells you where the bookmakers are in this one. It does kind of feel like a yucky tie.
Not enough.
Like
They're
a
out of the
1-1.
playoffs. Well, if you think they're in the playoffs, you think they're gonna win this game, or you think they're gonna win against LAFC. You can't have
I kind of
draw.
think 2 ties, even though we said 4 points, 2 ties like allows them to sneak in. And San Jose does us a favor.
That could be it. That could be it, but I don't think San Jose.
I also need to see what the tiebreaker would be with the Quakes.
I'm guessing it'd be goal differential to go first, because or head to head.
Head to head, they did have
Yeah.
that big win against the Quakes earlier in the season. What
and then they
happened in the
lost.
second matchup?
I think they
Right.
lost. So I think they're 1-1, and I think it goes to goal differential after that.
Which would give the Quakes the
probably not
advantage.
Yeah. That
You
minus
got to score goals.
No, my score prediction on Twitter will be a tie, but somehow, some way they win this. It's classic Pids. Just when you count them out, they pull it off.
Or it could be classic Pids. Right when you count them out, they prove you right.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I'm nervous already for this game, guys. I'm nervous already.
It's not going to be a fun game. I'm telling you right now, I'm throwing up about an hour before game time.
No doubt. Do you guys have any other big predictions for this final game? Who gets the 1 seed, San Diego FC or Vancouver, who are all tied up right now at 57 points?
I think it's San Diego. I
think the Whitecaps have slowed down a bit.
And I think that just happens towards the end of the year very often. I think teams get tired. They kind of locked up their spot. I think it's San Diego.
I think just to finish the story of a expansion team winning out is why San Diego will win it. I think they'll play extra hard.
So MLS-y.
You know the MLS loves scripting its season.
It's so MLS-y, and I love every
Colorado
second
needs
of
like
it.
something to happen to it for like the MLS to be like, let's put them as the lead protagonist for the season.
Oh my god. Yeah. Tense, man. Tense. We shall see. It's a big one. Any final thoughts, fellas?
Fuck me.
Yeah, for real. For real. Flowers to the fellas for Maxu is all I'd say. I do think he's stepped up in these last few games. Also, Rob
Backline
talking
looks
about
good.
how he's tough on the young guys and has high standards, I think has raised my my evaluation of him in my eyes. Shout out to our Danish beast back there. I hope he's ready for Derby Day. Well, Dwayner, what do we say in these cases?
On Saturday, more than any other day,
More
this
than
season,
ever.
it's up the Pids.
Up the damn Pids, baby. Stay burgundy, boys. We shall see you in 2 weeks to wrap this whole thing
Looking
up.
forward to seeing C38 show up out there on TV. They're sending a bus. Get out there, get rowdy.
We need it, baby. We need it. Okay. Up the Pids. See you soon.
We all silly like the mayor.